Hey everyone, it's Rich Smothers, aka CryptoBilly, coming at you from Billy Goat Tales. Welcome back to another episode of our Motivational Mindset series. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button for us and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on these stories that light a fire under your dreams. They really do. At Billy Goat Tales, we live by our 10 cornerstones: community, persistence, taking action, honor, love, rarity, habits, faith, true wealth, and emotional intelligence. Now, these are not just words. They're the blueprint for turning ordinary lives into extraordinary lives. Today, I've got a story that'll bring all of these cornerstones to life. It's about Elena, a single mom who turned her world upside down with grit and heart. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into this. I think you're going to like this. So picture this. Elena was a 32-year-old single mom living in a quiet suburb, juggling 2 part-time jobs just to keep the lights on for her 8-year-old son, Max. Now, life had thrown her some curveballs. A tough divorce, mounting bills, and that nagging feeling that her dreams were just slipping away. But deep down, Elena had a passion: baking artisan breads and pastries. Now, not the store-bought stuff, but rare, handcrafted loaves infused with unique flavors like lavender or lavender honey or like spiced pumpkin seed. She dreamed of turning it into a business, but doubt whispered. It whispered into her brain. It was saying things like, "Who are you to start something new?" That's where our first cornerstone comes in: taking action. Elena didn't wait for the perfect moment. One rainy afternoon, she baked her first batch in her tiny kitchen and posted pics on social media. "Fresh from my oven. Want to try?" the post read. No fancy equipment, just pure initiative. Action isn't about grand gestures. It's about the first step, no matter how small. But action alone, it isn't enough. Enter persistence. Orders trickled in at first. A neighbor here, a neighbor there, a friend here, a friend there. Then came the setbacks. A bad batch that burned, suppliers hiking up prices, and days when Max was sick and she just couldn't bake. Elena wanted to quit 100 times, but she persisted. She woke up at 4 a.m., refined her recipes, and kept on going. Persistence is the quiet force that turns "I can't" into "I did." As her bakes gained traction, Elena realized she couldn't do it all alone. That's community. She joined local farmers markets and online baking groups as well, connecting with their small business owners, like-minded business owners. They shared tips, they swapped ingredients, and even collaborated on pop-up events. One vendor, an older gentleman, his name was Mr. Ruiz, he became her mentor. Community isn't just about people around you. It's the network that lifts you higher when you're down. Now, woven through all this was honor. Elena built her business on integrity. She sourced ingredients ethically, never cut corners on the quality side, and always delivered on time. When a customer complained about a stale loaf, she refunded them and sent a fresh one, no questions asked. Honor builds trust, and trust turns one-time buyers into loyal, raving fans. But let's talk about love too, the heartbeat of it all. Elena poured love into every piece of that bread. Every time she kneaded that dough, she baked it as if it was baking for her own family. She loved her son Max fiercely, using her growing income to enroll him in art classes that he just adored. And she extended that love outward, donating unsold goods to local shelters. Love isn't this fluffy sentiment. It's the fuel that makes your efforts meaningful and authentic. What set Elena apart? Well, Rarity. In a world of mass-produced breads, she created something unique. Limited edition flavors inspired by her heritage, like a rosemary olive loaf with a twist of sea salt from her grandmother's recipe. Rarity isn't about being weird. It's about embracing what makes you one of a kind, turning your quirks into your very own superpower. To make it all sustainable, Elena leaned on having good habits. She built routines, daily baking schedules, weekly goal setting sessions, and even a gratitude journal to track her wins. Habits are the invisible architects of success. Small, repeated actions that compound over time, turning chaos into consistency. Through the highs and lows of it all, faith kept her anchored. Not just religious faith, but faith in herself, her vision, and a higher purpose. When a big order fell through, leaving her short on her rent, she whispered, "This too shall pass." And she pushed forward. Faith is believing in the unseen, trusting that your efforts will bloom even in the darkest soil. As her business grew, a little bakery stand turned online shop, Elena discovered true wealth. It wasn't the money rolling in, though that did help pay off the debts. True wealth was the freedom to pick Max up from school, or the joy of seeing her customers smile, and the inner peace from living authentically. She realized riches aren't in bank accounts, but in fulfilled lives and cherished moments. Finally, emotional intelligence tied it all together. Elena navigated stress with self-awareness, empathizing with frustrated suppliers, and motivating her growing team of helpers. When envy crept in, seeing competitors thrive, she checked her emotions. She celebrated their wins and focused on her path. EQ isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about mastering them to build stronger relationships and smarter decisions. After 2 years of hustle, Elena's Rare Bites Bakery, that's what it's called, was absolutely thriving. She hosted community workshops, teaching kids like Max to bake. Her story, it spread online, inspiring others to chase their dreams. But it wasn't luck. It was the 10 cornerstones in action. A real life story, everyone. So, what's the takeaway from Elena's journey? Whether you're starting a side hustle or overcoming a setback or just grinding through the day, lean on these cornerstones. They're not magic. They're choices that you make every single day. So, if this story fired you up, drop a like, comment below which cornerstone resonated with you the most, and share it out with someone who needs a boost. Subscribe for more motivational mindset tales. And remember, at Billy Goat Tales, we're all about building that unbreakable mindset. This is CryptoBilly. I'll see you next time on Billy Goat Tales.